From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. When you need a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, durability, simple deck height adjustments, and a professional-grade cut, then you need the Kubota Z400 mower. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 48 months or save $300.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.
Well, happy Wednesday, August 14th. We're going to go ahead and start off with your Kruger's Quickcast as we head out the door this morning. It's going to be another, I guess you could call it coolish night, depending on where you are. Excuse me, coolish morning, that is, depending on where you are. Those temperatures, yeah, it looks like in the mid-60s by 8 o'clock this morning. So again, not as warm as it has been over the last few weeks. Still hazy, a little smoky. I think Trinity County still, of course, close to the Boise fire. That's really where we're seeing most of the smoke that's being produced. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s elsewhere, upper 50s for those eastern mountains. We go ahead and take a look at Futurecast, and what that's really going to show is that there is going to be the potential for maybe a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, especially in Siskiyou County. Some of those could make their way into northern Trinity County and maybe even Modoc County as well. So the main area will be right up here to the north of the valley, maybe some activity kind of bleeding into northern Trinity County and parts of Modoc County as well. Otherwise, the rest of us will be looking at dry conditions here as we take it through the afternoon, and not to mention, of course, tonight. Again, the main smoke-producing fire is the Boise fire. Most of that, as you can see, by noon will be in western Siskiyou County and parts of northern Trinity County as well. And then it will start to kind of push to the east and down to the south. Looks like we're not going to see as much smoke out towards the Redding area and even southward that we did see yesterday, as most of it should stay to the north and west of us. But that may change here later tonight and into tomorrow morning. There you can see your temperatures today, low to mid 90s in the valley. There's that chance for thunderstorms we are going to see this afternoon, especially in Siskiyou County, maybe Modoc County, and maybe northern Trinity County as well. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook, well, there's really not going to be much change. What we're seeing here in the valley are temperatures generally staying in the low to even some mid 90s in there. Could cool off on Sunday into the upper 80s, even for Redding by Sunday, and of course warming back up again for early next week. Taking a look at your 7-day outlook for the coast, look at that. Maybe a chance for showers on Saturday, a chance for some showers inland as well, and not to mention out towards Weaverville. As I mentioned, maybe even a slight chance going into this afternoon for northern Trinity County. For Siskiyou County, today and tomorrow will be your best chances for showers, maybe thunderstorms. That's also the case for Modoc County, and then maybe a chance on Saturday, at least for Siskiyou County, but not so much for Alturas, Modoc County, not to mention in the eastern mountains as well. Of course, those temperatures really cooling off, especially for Mount Shasta in the upper 70s here by the weekend. Well, that's your Kruger's Quickcast. Let's go ahead and first of all start off about talking about fire danger. All right, so fire risk and all of that, everything when it comes to the latest fires, I will cover here in just a second. But before we get into that, you need to understand that the data coming in as I'm recording this is usually coming in from last night. And the new data comes in before I go on in the morning at Coffee with Kruger at 7 a.m. So if you want the latest data, most comprehensive data, it's always going to be on Coffee with Kruger at 7 a.m. Now, if you can't watch at 7 a.m., let's say it's 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, you can go back and watch the pre-recorded version of Coffee with Kruger, and you can see that comprehensive fire coverage. So click on this banner here from weathernorcal.com and you can get to there. Also, throughout the day, you can click here for all of the latest when it comes to the fires. All right, here's your weather headlines. Cooler weather will last into early, if not really all of next week, with a chance for some isolated mountain thunderstorms. Getting a little bit more detail on that here in a second, of course, even as early as today. Possibility of stronger winds going into the weekend, really towards the end of this weekend into the weekend, and then no big heat waves are heading our way anytime soon. Temperatures most likely staying below normal for a while. There's a look at the Boise fire. Excuse me, this is what it looked like on Monday, by the way, okay? So, excuse me, on Tuesday. This was Tuesday right before sun set. You can see just how active the fire was. Okay, then we're going to take you into this morning. Overnight, it has relaxed a little bit, but we're still seeing a heat signature in the early morning hours, which unfortunately means it's been burning fairly actively over the last 24 hours. Now, as we see here, we're looking at the air quality. This is an indication of just how much smoke it's still producing and will continue to produce here as we go into the next couple of days. All right, let's start off with the park fire. Now at 40% containment, but really hasn't seen much growth over the last 24 hours. Again, keep in mind, these containment numbers, the acre numbers, this is data coming in from late last night and early this morning. It may change as I go on live at 7 a.m. on Coffee with Kruger. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at these numbers. This fire perimeter is still keeping, and it has not changed, by the way, over the last 24 hours. So it's still south of 89, still south of Highway 36, Highway 36 right here, south of 89, and still kind of between that Highway 172 and 89. So again, this is good news. The fact that we're not seeing much growth, still the areas that need to be protected are still protected and outside of that fire perimeter. Meanwhile, we take you out to the Hill Fire, still at 98% containment. Haven't seen any growth there. Where we have seen the growth, unfortunately, is the Boise fire. Again, this is a reason why we're seeing the heat signature. It's still very active. You can see this is the fire perimeter right here. Just 24 hours ago, it's spread to the north and east, a little bit to the north, and not to mention off to the east as well. Still, it's moving closer too. Yesterday, it was at about 5 miles from Orleans. Now, it's at about 2.5 miles. So it has moved in a little bit closer here, still at 0% containment. We've seen a little over 1,000 acres of growth over the last 24 hours. Again, keep in mind, this is the latest fire perimeter as of 5 a.m. This morning. But this came in yesterday evening, this latest fire perimeter. So it may change as we go in later this morning. We'll kind of have to wait and see. Give her some perspective, because as it grows, areas outside of Orleans may start getting concerned. So I just wanted to give you an idea that it's still pretty far from a lot of the local communities, and the closest one from here would be Hoopa at about 15 miles. So just kind of give you an idea there that it's still a pretty good distance away from there. All right, take a look at the smoke forecast. There you can see this morning, still most likely seeing some of that lingering haze and smoke towards the north end of the valley, just around the Weaverville area, and of course just to the east of the fire itself. As we go into the afternoon, we're probably going to see it flare up again, unfortunately. We're going to see a lot of smoke, big plume of smoke, that'll push that smoke off to the east. Now, keep in mind, when we look at the smoke forecast, it has everything to do with how active the fire is or how unactive or inactive the fire is. It really just all depends. You can see a little bit of smoke still coming in from the park fire, moving off to the north and east, but certainly not to the extent of what we're seeing with the Boise fire. Take you into Thursday morning, we may see some of that haze and smoke try to make its way into the north end of the valley as well. And then we may see another plume of smoke develop, unfortunately, going into Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. And more of that smoke may try to make its way into the Redding area, the north end of the valley, by Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. Let's take a look at the winds. Still that typical pattern. A little concerned about the winds coming in fairly strong from the northwest for the northwest side of the valley. That is all moving down to the south and east. But you can see the winds still fairly strong off in the eastern mountains, but nothing terribly unusual. And we take you into your Thursday. The winds maybe not as strong for the northwest side of the valley, but still looking at that higher fire danger as a result, and still seeing some of those gusty winds off to the east. Meanwhile, we take a look at that relative humidity here, and we're seeing some good recovery, especially towards the Boise fire, but still burning fairly actively. There you can see this afternoon in the mid-teens. So we are seeing some better humidity levels here, at least higher humidity levels here with the park fire. That is great to see. And of course, those higher humidity levels around the Boise fire as well. But as you see here, despite the fact that we are seeing those higher humidity levels, the fire is still very much actively burning in the Boise fire. There is, of course, the higher fire danger for the northwest and west side of the valley. Meanwhile, we take you off into your Thursday as those winds get a little bit weaker on Thursday. As a result, our fire danger will go back down to moderate for the northwest side of the valley. So we still have the monsoon moisture off to our east. It wasn't quite as, was active yesterday. It will probably get active again as we go into the afternoon. In the meantime, I'm also tracking an area of low pressure off to our north. You can't really see it here on the satellite image, but that will eventually have an impact on our weather, which we'll see here in a second. But looking at futurecast, forecast, the best chances for thunderstorms look to be somewhere around Siskiyou County. We could see some of that kind of linger into Modoc County and northern Trinity County as well. Elsewhere, it should remain dry. Then we go into your Thursday afternoon, and it looks like we could see some pop-up showers here for parts of Siskiyou, Modoc County, but most likely steering clear of Trinity County. Also, we're still seeing a lot of that low clouds and even some fog along the coast, but there will be some clearing over the next couple of days depending on where you are. Here's the longer range. On Friday, still some of those afternoon clouds developing in the mountains. On Saturday, an area of low pressure off to our north and west could help to spin in some of those showers here for the north coast, Trinity County, and not to mention into Siskiyou County as well. It looks like, though, Modoc County and the eastern mountains may steer clear of this, because watch what happens. That will kind of back off as we go into Sunday, and then it looks like through next week, that area of low pressure is going to kind of just wobble around through most of next week, and then eventually push itself off to the north of us by next Wednesday and Thursday, but still most likely staying dry. Now, this is also going to have an impact on our temperatures, because as that cooler air begins to break off from the main area of low pressure right here, we see some redevelopment, cooler air associated with it. The heat is going to be pushed down over the desert southwest. Now, one of the things I'm a little concerned about as we go into Friday and into Saturday, we're going to see a bit of that southwesterly wind begin to develop here as we go on the southeast side of the area of low pressure. A bit of a squeeze play between the area of high and low pressure. Now, one of the good things that will come out of this, it will help to re-enhance that delta breeze. So delta breeze influenced areas like Chico southward will most likely really feel that impact. But it will also help to bring in slightly higher relative humidity. That's the good part. The bad part is the fact that those winds may be a bit gusty at times as well, starting Friday through the weekend and maybe even into the beginning of next week as well. So this area of low pressure on Tuesday kind of backs off a little bit. This high pressure tries to build in. Temperatures may increase a little bit, and then this area of low pressure kind of kicks itself off to the east and will continue to do that, but should help to keep our temperatures below normal through all of next week. Looking at that 10-day trend here, temperatures dropping as we go into the weekend, and then we'll see a slight increase, kind of leveling off in the low to mid-90s here by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, keeping it below normal for this time of the year. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center from the National Weather Service is predicting in the next 10 days, cooler than normal temperatures will most likely be the case here. All right, so let's take a look at our wave heights. And there's, of course, today, we're really not seeing much change from the last 24 hours. As we go into the next 24 hours after that, not much change going on there as well. So no small craft advisories, just got that patchy dense fog that we'll have to contend with those northwest winds at about 5 knots. Your waves from the northwest at 2 feet at about 12 seconds. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. That's more like it. Remember, it's showing like 100 degrees in Burnt Ranch? No. How about 80? 80 degrees in High and Palm, 91 for Douglas City, 89 for Trinity Center, and there you can see that chance for showers. Now, as I mentioned, the north end of Trinity County, say places like Trinity Center, may see a stray shower or maybe even an off chance for a thunderstorm. But I do think that most of Trinity County should be dry today and really through Friday. It's Saturday that we could be looking at that potential of that area of low pressure, big, broader area of low pressure that could have a bigger impact. As we go in for the north coast, same situation here. The coast could see showers on Saturday, but should remain dry, minus, of course, some of that morning drizzle in some areas here. And not to mention the inland areas getting the potential for some of those showers coming in on Saturday as well. But in the meantime, it stays dry up until that point. Siskiyou County, you got a chance for showers and thunderstorms here. I would say especially for central and eastern Siskiyou County. As you head to the west, places like Happy Camp, maybe a slimmer chance, but that's for Wednesday. Still a slight chance there on Thursday, maybe a break on Friday, and then a chance for some showers, maybe even some thunderstorms here as we take you into your Saturday, drying out by Sunday. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast today, a chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms, as well as tomorrow, and maybe another chance for some showers. No showers on Saturday. I think most of it will stay to the west of Modoc County on Saturday, and we keep it dry going into next week. Your Eastern Mountains forecast, I'm not expecting any showers or thunderstorms today, tomorrow, or even into Saturday. Temperatures kind of hovering in that mid-80 range here for the next 7 days, give or take. We take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast. No showers, no thunderstorms, just cooler. Look at that. 88 degrees for Orland, 89 in Willows, 91 for Chico and Los Molinos. We take you up to the north, a little bit warmer, about 94 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake and Redding, as well all the way down to Red Bluff, 90 degrees in Whiskeytown. and 95 in Palo Cedro. So we look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, and those temperatures are generally going to slowly drop eventually by Saturday, Sunday, around 90 degrees, and then temperatures bump up a little bit by next Monday and Tuesday. That's your morning update. Stick around for your noon update at around 12 o'clock. Have a great morning.
We're the locals down the street. The neighbor you come to for advice. A nest egg for the golden years. A loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.